Hello, good evening. Happy full moon, happy eclipse, lunar eclipse. It's lunar eclipse in Pisces today as I'm recording this. It's about like an hour and a half away from what I understand. And it's full moon. So I thought, what a great time to do a reading. Also, I'm wearing next to nothing because it's hot as an oven. And the whole shack is going to shimmy pretty soon. It is hot in Texas still in September. So, what a fun night to pull a reading. And what I'd like to do is pull a reading on your future self, what your future self might tell you or say about your current behaviors, current actions, current life. What is your future self going to say about you? All right, so I have done a shuffle already. We've got the Knight of Cups as the bottom card, which is amazing energy. And I hope that I'm not pulling too much from myself because this card is absolutely gorgeous. If everybody can see that. What a beautiful card. What a beautiful interpretation of the Knight of Cups. All right, let's lay down 5. Oh, we've got the Knight of Wands as well. We have the 10 of Pentacles. So far. We have the 6 of Swords. The Ace of Swords. And the 10 of Swords. I can't figure out. Hey guys, so the dogs are also going full moon crazy. I can't figure out which way this card. New deck, who's this? So first of all, underneath the 10 of Swords is the High Priestess. I think that's actually pretty damn important. And I'm willing to draw that 6th card. Yeah, it's full. So, and the Knight of Cups, we're going to put that up top because that's all I want to just leave that guy right there, Knight of Cups. Well, first of all, I would say there's some advice here from your future self. A little bit of a warning, a little bit of advice. Overall, I think your future self is very pleased. So that's nice. I don't know how far out in the future this is. It depends. And this isn't a cop-out. It depends. It's going to be different from each of you. For each of you, because everybody's going to accomplish these, not even accomplish, but everyone is going to get to these steps at different times. So this is a different future self for each of you. And there's a different future self for each of you in terms of a timeline. So I can't say it's definitely not next week. It's definitely not a month from now. But whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, I don't know. But so far, your future self is very pleased with the choices that you're making right now. Yeah, I want to pull a little bit on that. I want to pull the Rider-Waite-Smith deck a little bit to clarify, because I think the underlying message that, not warning per se, but cautionary tale, or maybe a little bit of a heads up so that you don't have to learn things the hard way. Pepita. I think maybe one of the lessons that you can learn maybe through tarot or maybe through dreams even. I'm getting dreams. You might have some dreams about your future life or your future self that sort of also give you this heads up. But don't stay in your own head. Don't overthink things. Let me stop with the don'ts. I'm going to pull some clarification on the Ace of Swords. I think your path is somewhat spiritual. I know that's easy to say if you're watching a tarot reading. It's a bit too on brand, but it is true. I think you're on a spiritual path, and I'm glad that you are. I think all of us should be. That connection between the fifth dimension and the third dimension, you're kind of figuring that out, I think. And in the future, as you develop the connection between the two and really start to understand what's valuable for you individually and what your purpose is, I think the better you are. Okay, this is the Ace of Swords. I have the Lovers underneath. I have the Two of Pentacles. I have the Six of Pentacles and the Fool. Okay, so there's a little bit of restless rushing in, tempered with I think it's kind of a stop-start energy with that Ace of Swords, which is usually full movement, forward movement with knowledge and authority and assurance, confidence. There's a little bit of a stop-start, and I think that might be the warning. That might be the warning itself, is like, don't overcomplicate things. Don't have that. Don't take there's indecision here. There's sort of reckless abandon and restarting. Does this make sense? There's a little bit of recklessness in dropping some things to pick up other things, if that resonates at all. So it could be a person, place, thing, job. There's a little bit of reckless abandon that you are sort of tempted to do with people, places, or jobs where you're just ready to start over without really doing the research or thinking things through. And then on the other hand, sometimes you're too slow to make a movement, right? And I think that happens for all of us. So, man, universe, you're being really hardcore, because if we could give advice to anyone, it would be go with the flow, right? Go with the flow, and don't overthink things in times of harvest and in times of abundance. Don't overthink it. And then don't overthink it when we think it. Well, don't underthink it when it's time to make a move. This is very conflicting energy over here. It didn't help me really very much with the Ace of Swords. So there is this resounding abundance, but it's almost like it's almost like there's also regrets. Maybe if you're not careful, you don't take the opportunities you need to move forward, like with the Knight of Wands. I did pull some on the Knight of Wands, so I have the Ten of Wands, the Three of Pentacles, King of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Empress. So, my channel, I like to kind of sit in the masculine energy, and if I'm pulling incoming energy, I like to pull the feminine energy. It just resonates with me better, and I think that's the way that I read tarot. But there's no other in this reading. It's all about you. But I'm seeing that whoever I'm drawing for tonight, I'm seeing that you have opportunity. You had opportunity to take an offer of love that I think you took. Your future self is saying that there is a woman, a feminine energy, an other person in your life, but she doesn't play as vital of a role as maybe she should. I think her talents and skills are underutilized. She's bringing a lot to the table and you're not taking it. Why didn't you take it? Why aren't you taking it? Why haven't you taken it? I think I want to go back to the crows for just one clarifier. What's going on with that? You've got feminine energy in your life. I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing, I'm not like, it's not here, but as weird as this is, I'm being told about it from the future self. It's almost like she's there, but she could have played a bigger, more important role. But she's definitely there. What am I reading this wrong? Universe, what about this feminine energy? Let's go ahead and suss it out. For most of these people watching this video, what's the feminine energy that they have? Oh, my cards are getting so sticky. What's the feminine energy that they have that's blocked up a little bit? One is hard. One is so hard. One card. Okay, I'll do 3 if that's better. Whoa! Oh no, she spit out 1. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune. It's about timing. You might get the timing wrong on this. And this has been a reoccurring theme. You might get the timing wrong on this. So, you know, this does happen. This happens a lot. And especially if you are involved with someone who you consider a soul connection, a soulmate, a twin flame, whatever the kids are calling it these days. Sometimes we meet people at the wrong time. Sometimes we think we meet people at the wrong time when it's the right time and we miss the opportunity. Sometimes we meet people and they aren't what we expect them to be at the time, and then we realize later that we could have met them in some way on some level, just to keep that connection going and to be there for them. It's all about timing. So whether you have the opportunity to connect with this person and don't, or whether you don't take the timing when it happens, you don't take the chance when the timing is right to move forward with this person and let that feminine energy really catapult you, or whether you demand something of this feminine energy and it's not ready yet, she's not ready yet. It's all about timing. So that being said, you know, I think what most readers and what most friends would tell you is that the timing is right for everything that is from your heart. So if you find yourself making a decision or wanting to wait or being overthinking, but if you find yourself making a decision with your head in regards to love, it's probably not the best choice. You want to make the decision with your heart. Even if, let's say hypothetically, that from my perspective, let's say that someone comes into your life, you see an instant connection, and then the person comes at you, that other person comes at you with an energy that puts you on guard, like that surprises you, that you don't expect from a soul connection, whether it's, calling drunk and rambling, or whether it's like very demanding, or whether it's just for a booty call and you know that you guys are stronger and more powerful than that kind of relationship. Whatever it is, let's say they come at you full force and your reaction is to go full on swords and just end it. Just end any kind of connection that you have with them. Rather than, and that's mostly with your head, right? That's mostly with, oh, well, she didn't treat me right. It's over, okay? That's with your head. It is. And if you were to make a decision with your heart, you might understand that one point in time should not be used to judge a person over the long haul. And maybe you just need to be that person's friend for a minute, especially if they're coming in hot with this complete 180 to where they've been before. So maybe you just need to be that person's friend for a minute. I was deeply humbled when I was in an experience like that myself, and it didn't end well. And I wish I could go back in time and do that. So this is my future self, your future self, my current self. But timing is everything, but when in doubt, just go with your heart. So if you're unsure of whether the timing is right, look to your heart. If you have feelings for that person, go ahead and tell them. If you want to be with that person, do your absolute best to be with that person. And if you can't be anything more than a friend at the time, be a friend, because you never know where somebody's at that particular moment. And things change all the time. Luck changes, timing changes. You never know what could happen. So that's the love piece of it. That's the soulmate piece of it. And that's coming from the Knight of Wands, actually, and also brought to us by the Knight of Cups. But we've got, it's been, this reading isn't done yet. Okay, so I want to actually use this deck, and I want to pull, this is a mess, I know, but I want to pull on the Six of Swords, because all I'm drawn to is the very colorful energy that's in that Six of Swords. I think we've got a message in there. It's very hard pulling on future feelings, because you have to kind of get a little bit in nostalgia for the future self, which is a very conceptual idea, of course, but it's a weird place to be right now. This is Knight of Cups at the bottom. Four of Wands. Strength. Chariot. There's a lot of energy here. There's a lot happening. And I'm trying to read it as best I can, but there's a message in this. It's almost like it relates back to the Wheel of Fortune a little bit in its timeliness. Because I'm getting conflicting messages from the cards, and then the messages that are sort of coming through, or the energies that are coming through. And I wonder if there's just a little bit of, there's, you know what it is? It's like a conflict in historical documentation. Like it's a one person saw something one way, you saw something the other way. Somebody saw something one way, you saw and felt it the other way. You acted on your experience of this, and they did not. And I can't, this feels like family to me. I don't have, the cards aren't really supporting that, but to me, so take it or leave it, but to me, this feels like family. And there's a very conflicted message. Like if you were to write down the same exact story, like the same exact date, what happened on this date, you were both in the same room at the same time, what happened, their story of the events of the day would be completely different than yours. And I don't know if this feels more current. So if you're currently dealing with a situation where you're butting heads with this is a full moon, it's probably a very active time, especially if you're dealing with family, with emotions and with challenges, dynamic power challenges. If you feel like you're at this place where you're butting heads, I think your future self would tell you that duality exists. Like there is a possibility, really, that one person can see, experience, and then reframe and explain the events of a day or an experience or a moment or a year or a lifetime completely different from someone else. So if you're feeling that someone else has this completely different view of what's happening than you do, they probably do. And it happens. And it's not necessarily that any one person is right or wrong. You are right for your perspective, and they are right for their perspective. In terms of a universal right and wrong, I don't care who tells you this, but the universe is not black and white per se. There's a lot of gray area. When the sun is just going down, for example, just the moments when right before a moon is eclipsed, the small shade of that eclipse is a gray area, and there might be some overlap. So look for the overlap between what you believe to be true and what they believe to be true, and try to build a conversation around that and try to build a connection around that. I think that will serve you very well. I know it's hard, especially with family, and it's very easy these days with everyone sort of giving you the advice that it's okay to cut family ties. It's okay. And I mean, if they're really toxic or abusive and you find yourself much worse off knowing them and dealing with them. If you can't create healthy boundaries that keep that from happening, then yeah, you might have to cut them off. But I think in this case, right now at least, I don't know what this is going to turn into, but around right now, your future self is saying that there's a way to connect in that sliver of gray area in the eclipse that might make it better. So try to see from their point of view a little bit. It's not right, and yours isn't right to them either, but there might be a little area where they overlap. Anyway, that's that. I think that's this reading. It's a very strange energy to be in. I appreciate it. If you've stayed this long through the reading, I really appreciate you. Remember that no tarot reading comes to us from a vacuum, and all of us have our own biases and push our own energy out when we are reading cards. So it's impossible for us to give a completely objective reading that is only coming from y'all, especially when we don't have many viewers right now. So keep that in mind no matter who you watch for tarot readings. And also remember, tarot is for entertainment only, but if you get a little glimmer of insight into something, or I've helped perspective shift a little bit, then it's worth it, and that's what I'm here for. Thank y'all. Have a good eclipse and a good full moon.